shooting the shit with Rhonda and T. Tonight we are reviewing Married to Medicine season 9, episode 9. But before we start,
smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel.
All right. So Heavenly brings Dr. Damon lunch at his new office. He has opened up a second location. And she's asking him, how did he feel about the lunch with Contessa and, when they was over to the house. And he ended up apologizing to her for getting as upset that he did, and walking out. And then Heavenly turned around and she apologized for not listening because, she said that was being disrespectful. And he said, he didn't take into account that the issue, her dealing with her mom being in hospice, that was affecting her feelings and probably the reason why she snapped out the way that she did. Meanwhile, Scott and Contessa is having basically the same conversation about, how her and Heavenly, every time they get together, how it's just an all-out, drag-out fight. And Contessa let him know about Heavenly's mom, and she said she didn't realize that she was going through all of that. And she let us know that she has texted her and she has sent her, some inspirations, and her plan is just to love her from afar. So we got Audra and her husband, Dr. Martin. I like them. I think they are such a cute couple.
They're cute.
I like looking at them. So,
and did you hear how they said they just went to the Justice of the Peace, unlike Juan and Robin over there in Potomac?
Okay. So they went there because it was COVID. So they went and got married, made it official. But now they want to plan their wedding. And they're sitting down with the wedding planner. And they give us a cute little backstory. They met at Howard's homecoming. He was an alumni. She was there partying. And he said that they saw each other on Saturday. They went out on Tuesday. They've been together every day ever since, So they're talking about, the wedding. And they are already $50,000 to $60,000 over budget on this wedding. But he's a doctor and she's a lawyer, so they come up. She told us
$50,000 over budget means what the hell? How?
She said that she got her
family.
Well, yeah, because they was talking about flying people in from Ghana and Nigeria, and it's gonna be this big thing. She said, she grew up in America. It was little Ghana in her house. So she want to incorporate all of that in her wedding. So, yeah, they must got it, child. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, because you can't just throw $50,000 over budget and because in my mind, in my world, we ain't gonna be able to do it. We don't have another.
He ain't seem worried about it at all. It was just like, child.
But honestly, if you don't have another $50,000, you shouldn't be planning a wedding like that.
Yeah. So, child, I want to get more of them. I do. Are we going to get to see their wedding? I hope so. I hope so. I would like to see that. Oh,
Yeah, because it's going to be a lot of culture.
Yeah. And baby, it's almost that time. Black Panther about to come out in a couple of months, so let's get geared up.
You want some Ghana in your life before you go to Wakanda?
Yes. Y'all remember, y'all, we're wearing white for the ancestors this year. Okay, so when y'all get ready to go, we're wearing white for the ancestors. Okay, now back to this. that was the orders that we got. Okay, so
D got a direct connect, so I'm not surprised.
Okay. So Neela's in the car with her mom. And she's asking her mom, how does she like living with them? And her mom's like, oh, it's okay. Mom was messy.
I don't like her mother.
And I'm like, so this is why Karen came up with those rules, because they really nasty people.
But I mean, if your point is you need help, so why are you inviting somebody that you gotta clean up behind to come help? That's not helping. That doesn't even make sense.
She
And
said
she
she
ain't
don't want.
sorry. She nasty and she don't care.
She said she don't want random babysitters
That
babysitting
sounds
her.
like bullshit. That sounds stupid, Anila.
She said they're not gonna love her like a grandma would. She's just trying to butter her up to keep her there. Okay. It makes me think that Anila maybe don't mind so much of the nastiness
Well,
as
she
much
grew
as,
up in it. But
yeah,
her mother's not just nasty, she's irritating.
yeah, yeah. Well, speaking of irritating, so she's taking her to her store that she's getting ready to open up. She's opened up a store because she wants to sell raw. It's a hair store. She wants to sell raw
Well, she's
Indian
gonna make
hair.
tons. She's gonna
That
make a bunch of money.
on that
I'm
raw
saying.
Indian hair.
She got access to the good Indian
She
hair, then
do.
girls, open your store. Because they
Yep,
gonna be
yep,
sold out.
yep. Um, so she take her in the store. First thing mama do is start complaining about the floor. That floor look like it costs too much money. This place is too big. Why you don't add a kitchen? They was like, because that's unsanitary. You can't put a kitchen where you got hair at. That's not a concern of her. She's a
Her
nasty
mother be
person.
acting like she paying for shit. She did that with her house.
Yeah, yeah. Stop bringing her around because you know how she is. That's my
You
thing,
must
Anita.
like it.
Yeah. You
Unless she's, unless she's waiting on her mother's approval, she might be like, keep trying. Look what I did. Look what we're doing. And her mother just
yeah,
won't give it to her.
yeah. I mean, to me, if I don't want negative people around me, especially when I'm trying to do something like
Not when
that.
I'm trying to start something. It's already stressful.
Yeah, you come see it after it's done. I don't need you because I know you way overly opinionated. Just come see it when it's done. Um, so Dr. Jackie meets with these comments that have a podcast called Dumb Gay Politics. So it's two girls on this panel. She was previously on their show. And I guess on the show, they talk about how they hadn't been to the gynecologist in years. One of the girls said she ain't been the one since
I
2014.
thought that was so dumb. What does your sexuality have to do with the way your body functions? Like,
Well, they said because they're not having heterosexual sex, they didn't feel like that they needed to have an exam. I'm with you.
that
That does.
sounds dumb to me. That sounds.
But is this a thing? Is this a thing, or is this
I'm
just
not a
usual?
member of the community. I hope they ain't over there being that dumb. That sounds ridiculous.
So she ended up checking the woman out and giving her a full exam because she wants to be, awareness. If that's what y'all thinking, y'all need to come on.
Wait a minute. So, okay, never mind. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It sounds stupid.
Lord. So Kieran, he wants to get the guys together. Okay.
If only, okay, so now I have to share. So
Okay.
when you were talking about them having sex, and I was like, yeah, but don't they be using
Yeah.
tools and things, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't like nothing's ever going in there necessarily. I mean, everybody I'm guessing has sex different. So now in my mind, I'm picturing like a dildo, and you go, so Karen.
Oh my goodness.
So we know he's backing over there, according to the people.
Cool. So he's having to get together for the guys. Okay. Burgers, bourbon, and bow ties. Okay. He tells the guys to get all dressed up. It's gonna be a day of pampering. He got, massages going on, manicures.
That's the difference between a plastic surgeon and an emergency room surgeon.
Yeah.
Plastic surgeon over here thinking of pampering. They over there like, hurry.
Well, I mean, the other one was, what's his name? Curtis. No, not Curtis.
Cecil.
Cecil. Cecil don't do nothing. So.
Well, he's manicured and stuff. He was all here for it.
Yeah. So the guys really weren't feeling the Botox, but they was feeling everything else, okay? Which I didn't think any of them would anyway.
I'm not volunteering for
Maybe
no
Cecil.
Botox neither. And
Maybe
that's the
Cecil.
thing. I'm not like, I mean, teachers don't do what they want to do. I feel like if it's just not my thing. I don't want to be pumping shit into my body. That would make me uncomfortable. However, I do feel like even if I was considerate, you're not gonna surprise me with that. Like,
Let me get my mind right
I
with
feel
that.
the same way about the don't surprise me with no IV vitamin B12 thing, and don't surprise me with Botox.
So Scott let it be known. Look here, I ain't beefing with Damon. I'm gonna put that out there right now. Wife, whatever. Me and him ain't beefing. Um, so Eugene bring up all the wives having the old shot. And in the confessional, while they was talking about the old shot, this girl gonna say he don't work that hard at all. So he know I got it because he ain't working that hard. I was like, she like every chance get a dig in when it
Would
comes
he
to
have even brought
Eugene.
it up if he knew what she said?
Man, no,
Karen,
no.
no. What she
Ooh,
said.
he hot now. He hot right now. Um, and Karen was like, I don't know. My mother-in-law went.
Talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Karen said his mother-in-law went, and what's his name? The new doctor. He was like, don't let the mother-in-law get it. She gonna break your father-in-law hip. I was that was cute. So Dr. Damon talking about this biotin hormone that he had took and how he felt like he was in the eighth grade all over again. But he said Dr. Heaven didn't want him to have that no more.
He tickled his own self just thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so they was sitting there and he was talking to Damon because Damon was getting his manicure and he was like, this is the second time in life he ever did this. And Eugene was like, you gotta do this more often. And he started talking about, working so much and how time could just pass and how your kids get up and they get older. And he said he questions, and when he's saying this, they're showing this part in the professional. So he said he questions why he went into medicine in the first place instead of like doing something like business. Because he's so stressed out, in medicine. And Toya is sitting next to him, and she's making these ill faces when he's saying why they not just go into business. I'm like, did you hear him say because he's so stressed out? But she's something like,
Why does
mm-mm,
he think he wouldn't be
mm-mm.
stressed out in business? Like, if you want to maintain a wife like Toya, you're going to be working your ass off, whatever it is.
It might be your wife that's partly
I
stressing you
think
out.
that's maybe the stress.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but Dr. Damon explains to him, you know what, you could do well with or without the ER. I guess the ER, and I would think that the ER would be extremely stressful of all of the
Yeah,
practice that
that's
he
why
went
I
into.
said you can see the difference between a plastic surgeon and not
Yeah,
saying he's not busy, but the ER is stressful as hell. I feel like that's
yeah.
constant, like always just it's the
It's the ER is
ER.
emergency.
Sitting in
Yeah,
the ER is stressful.
yeah. So Toya visit Dr. C, who is a spiritual advisor.
Ever what it
Toya
takes,
need to
girl.
go
Ever what
see
it
a
takes.
life coach. No, she need to go see a life coach. I mean, I'm just gonna say, we always go to the church. It looked like, and I had to go back and rewind it because to me it looked like a church when she went back when they showed her walking in. And so that's her spiritual advisor. And I know, we gonna go to Jesus, but you need to go to a life coach, somebody who gonna help you get your shit together.
I mean,
Like,
she don't carry herself like somebody who has a lot of Jesus in her, so I don't know what she's walking over there
well,
for in the first
yeah,
place.
that's true. That's true. Well, get you a little bit of Jesus, but get you somebody that could help you plan your life. Because I really feel like that's what's really wrong with you. Um, she said last year was stressful for her during the pandemic. probably because she was home with them kids. Um, and she
And
couldn't
I'm
talk to
sure worried
Eugene.
about her husband. He had to go to the friggin' ER all the time. And then,
But
you
but she said she was worried and she couldn't talk to Eugene because he had her own issues. That's what she said. I was like,
well, okay. Maybe she meant maybe she meant she was dealing with it too, but because he was the one that was actually dealing with the pressure, she didn't
yeah.
wanna. Nah,
Do you
that
think
don't
she
sound
didn't
like
want
her.
to? Did you think she didn't want to? Okay. Okay.
I
So
mean, I tried. I tried.
she said his emotional side disappeared during the pandemic. Okay. And
Really?
um,
Because I saw him cry at the last reunion just based on what he was seeing during all of
yeah,
that.
yeah. Um, she said change her household. I'm like, I really don't. I feel like, because she says, their communication is off. I feel like every time he tried to communicate with her about how he's feeling, it gets combative. You know what
Well,
I'm
she makes it
saying?
about her. She
Yeah.
try to make it feel like anything he say. I mean, at least from what we see, anything he says, it's like, oh
From
my,
what
not a
we
big deal.
see.
But I'm here every day, all day, by myself,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he don't really
That's
get
what
to
it
vent.
looked like. That's what it looked like from what
And
you're
I feel
showing
like
us.
when you got a husband, this probably is not going to be a very popular thing because everybody's like, hey, subservient, and anyway. I feel like when you got a husband and he works all day and you don't, let him come home and vent that shit. Like everybody does it, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't been
Right.
nowhere. Let him get that shit out. Then you could tell him about the kids and what you did. Like, not that you're not doing anything, but I feel like it's a lot more pressure being in the emergency room than it is.
But just like he just said, I don't know why I did this. Why didn't I switch up? And she's sitting over there like, ew, ew. Like, you can't do that. He's saying, and he's telling you, I'm
Not
gonna walk
happy.
away
I'm
from
not
this.
happy.
Yeah, and he's getting, because of you probably in your mind thinking money, that your lifestyle is gonna change, but it may very much so
Look here.
do.
Don't let somebody be at the hospital like you only live once. You should just go ahead and do. You're a good man,
Yep.
Eugene. You should go do what you want to do. Like, let it go. Don't be
So
so
she
stuck
said,
on things. And them kids is getting older and older. And so,
mhm.
I'm just
So
saying.
she said that her kids told her that she wasn't happy and she wasn't aware of it. And I'm like, have you not watched yourself on TV? Because the last couple of seasons you've been walking around there screaming and acting a fool. Do that seem like you were happy when you go back and
And
watch
for
it?
what? What are you so mad about?
She's been angry forever. That last season was ridiculous. Um, And she said first thing she did was blame Eugene for too much working. That's where her mind went to. It's his fault because he worked so much that she's unhappy. This is why I'm saying she needs to get a life coach. I
She don't
feel
have
like
nothing to do. Like, what is he supposed to be doing? Because when he's there, you're screaming. And so that's not fun.
I feel like
He comes
honestly
home, he still got to cook because I've only ever seen him cooking.
I feel like she's not being honest with herself. Um Being around Jackie and Simone and Dr. Heavenly, who you can't stand, and all these other women, even Anila, honestly, for her blogging,
She got stuff going on and
everybody's
she's
doing
opening a
something.
store.
Yeah, everybody's doing something, and you're not. It got to make you question, what am I doing? She got to figure out, not the whole I'm gonna wash my hair to make myself feel happy. She got to figure out what it is that she want to do in life, because evidently you just staying at home being just a housewife, that's not really making you happy. So
And
you
I
need to go
feel
to
like shampooing your hair doesn't make you happy unless you've been at work all week and you just ready to release all.
right, right. So that's not working for you. You need to find you something that's really gonna do it. You thought tennis was gonna do it, and and you hate it when they talk about you don't work. Toya don't do nothing.
Oh my
Toya
God, her and Contessa were on a live. It was disgusting. They were on a live bashing Heavenly, but Contessa was just like, and the bitch this and F this and the MF. Like I was like, why is she talking like that? And then of course she had to get Toya on the live. Toya caught up. So and I'm like, you're bashing Heavenly for what though? Like you just came here to join in?
Yeah, because she just hates Heaven. I think she felt like she should be better than Heaven.
Okay. But how? Better how?
So the lady tells her she needs to start being more intentional about communicating with her husband, not only about receiving, but it's about giving as well. Not only what you can get from it, but what you need to give. Toya ain't heard none of that though. So she suggests that she write a diary about her thoughts. I mean, I guess.
So then we're
I
still
guess.
back on you being about you.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's gonna say, Eugene, what you're not giving me is, yeah. So Eugene visits Dr. Damon because he wants to see what life after the ER can be like. Okay. He said he wants some kind of inspiration because right now he's not sure what it is that he want to do.
Probably
He
because he got to
said,
work so hard. Like he never gets a chance to think about that. What's next? Because he's always got to bust his ass to pay for the shit. Now they renting a house. He can't even see
right.
the forest for the trees because they got to pay for the house they're building.
It's crazy. So he said he used to love the ER, but I mean, after COVID was too much. COVID burnt him out. Okay. Um, and the sad part about it is he never had a plan B. He never thought about doing anything outside of ER
Well,
because he
he's
used to love
probably
it so
grown
much.
too, and to a point in his life where he's ready to.
Yeah.
He's around
Yeah.
Scott and Heavenly and Damon and all of them and Karen. They all have their own business.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, Dr. Damon, he tells us a story, when he was working in the ER when he first met him. Eugene would come in and he'd be just happy go lucky dude. And Damon used to be like, dude, like, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, he was ready to go. And I think that's cute. So I'm like, we see their history of them together. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I think that's so sad because, they really should be really good friends. But at the end of the day, Toya's just a totally different type of person.
And Heavenly
would
is
never have
too. They should be friends without their wives because I wouldn't be
Yeah.
wanting to be bothered with Heavenly fast either. I think she's
Yeah.
funner than Toya, but only in small doses.
And she would never respect her. I think she has respect for Jackie. She would never respect Toya though.
She has respect for Anila.
She has respect for Contessa. She just ain't like Contessa came with her with that BS. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like Contessa. Like when I heard her the other day, I was like, she's so whack.
She's a lot. And she act like we forgot and we ain't forgot. And he says he don't want to leave forever, but he need a break. He need a break. So he's just trying to figure it out. And I think that was good for him to go see Damon and see. And Damon's title says something about like he's like in pain management or something like that. So, and like I said, this is his second office that he's open, so and Damon even said, his kids said after he got out of ER, he was a totally different person. So he probably was walking around there stressed out too.
Restful. I was watching, which is a little bit off the subject, was all the way off the subject, but I was watching the documentary on Netflix about Ben Crump and just his journey. And they, he was sitting on, I think he was at his mother's house, and he was sitting on the couch and he started doing like this. And I was like, man, your life is stressing me out. I cannot imagine the pressure it must be to always be trying to, fight for the rights of, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, ER, that's that kind of energy.
Well, not nowhere, no ER tip, but my past position. and the stories I used to come home and tell you all the craziness that was going on at that job. So a friend of mine is back at that position. And then another, one, and they, it's the whole, are you coming back? Are you coming back? Are you coming back? And I'm like, y'all didn't let
Couldn't
me
even
get
do
a
it.
taste of the good life.
I couldn't
Like,
even do it.
while I was in it, the top, once it came in at the end, it was just like, okay, I'm ready because this ain't gonna work for me. But you don't realize how stressed that was while you're in the midst of it. But when you get out of it, I'm like, oh, I ain't never
You feel
going
free.
back there, baby.
But the thing is, like, you get in
Yeah.
a position like that and it pays you good money and you're in a managing to handle your home life, which
Mm-hmm.
takes stress out of your life. But then
Mm-hmm.
it takes time for that shit to build up, and then you're like around it all the time, and it's just not
Yeah.
ever like, for me, it's the opposite because I get tired of it, but for the most part, people get to come and feel good and leave feeling pretty. And it's not the
Mm-hmm.
same kind of thing where you're constantly a hospital where people are sick all the time, or the situation where you were in. It ain't a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot of like bright, shiny.
Mm-hmm.
Not. And I
Mm-mm.
bet you feel very different now in the
Yeah.
environment that
Oh yeah. It's so much different. I'm like, y'all let me get a taste. I ain't never coming
right,
back.
right.
Yeah. So he just need to get a taste of it. He need to be able to see it's okay. You'll be fine. But
But
I
he
just feel
cannot
like
come
he's not
home
getting that
though.
at home. Yeah.
He can't come home and like, she ain't even got to be a doctor. Like, there ain't nobody knocking her for being a housewife because that's a lot of
Right.
work. But he can't even come home and vent and her say, "Well, think about it though. Like, what you want to do."
He
She's
not
not
getting
getting.
that. He getting a
Mm-hmm.
That's what you gonna do? Mm-mm.
Right. How we gonna pay for
Yeah.
this? We got to do this, and I want to have this, and I need an elevator and an airplane and a helicopter.
Yeah. Yeah. So the last part, y'all. Ooh, Anila comes in her kitchen with her mama. Breakfast is still all on the table. Mama say, look here, I ain't got time to clean this up. Neela was like, is that still breakfast? I was like, Anila, are you just now coming downstairs? You mean to
Why
tell
does
me
she not have time though? Both of y'all are nasty. Yes, you just came
yeah,
down here.
yeah. Kids, you didn't come by and tell the kids goodbye for school. You didn't see this, or maybe you went upstairs and thought that mama took care of it. Now, mama did say you need to teach your kids doing they done to bring the dishes to the sink. You and your nanny ain't teach the kids shit. And
She
she said
also
she ain't
said,
had
"I'm the
time.
granny, not the nanny."
Okay. Now, I agree with that, but and I feel like my mama would have been like, you need to get these dishes. However, my mama wouldn't have just left them sitting on the table. My
No,
mom
she
would
would
have
have made the
made
kids go
D
get it.
pick it up and take it and show him how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
Then
know.
she
When my
was
mother came to visit, I would come home from work. The food would be clean. It smelled like dinner in there. It was like having a wife.
well, her mama say she ain't doing all that. Now she said, now when I get done, 'cause she was in there
So
fixing
then
herself
why did
something
we
to eat.
ask her to come? That's all I'm saying, because that's what you.
But you know what Anila did? Anila said, I got a photographer coming, and she went back upstairs. I don't feel like it really stressed her out like that. Now she knows if Kieran come in that door, he gonna be pissed off, and I
But
believe
that would
that's
be
the only reason
stressful
why.
enough for me. That right there, I would have
Yeah.
been like, if Kieran comes in here, he's gonna be pissed off. So we gonna clean this shit up.
Nope. She said she ain't had time. She went upstairs to go get ready.
Okay, Toya's friend.
Okay. So she told her that she's not following the rules. And she said, look here, I'm not following no rules. I'm your mom. Okay. Anila was like, she was telling her what she needs to do. Anila was like, I'm 42. You can't tell me how I should be. And the mom was like, and I'm older than you, and you're not gonna tell me. And the mama said, or I could just go. That's where I'm
Yeah,
at. And
you should go.
and Anila freaked out because she don't want to have to take care of her own kids. She was like, or you could change. She's not going to change, and you know she's not going to change. You say she been like this your whole life, but just the fact that you will have to do this or actually go find somebody to do this, you rather just deal with it because you don't want to deal with your own kids. It's to that extreme.
That's sad.
Yeah.
And they're at the age where you can't get enough of them. I'm sorry. Wait till they get teenagers. They're going to go in the room in the west wing of that house and you're not going to see them again. They'll come eat and then they'll leave.
Yep. Well, next week, y'all, Quiet is having a holiday celebration. And child, okay, well, come on up. And child,
He's coming?
Anila, yeah, he's coming. Anila is gonna bring a girl to the party that said that Toya was sleeping with someone in the neighborhood. Oh, this is gonna be nasty. Yeah, that Toya. They said, remember they said Toya was messing with some dude in the neighborhood.
I mean, the way she talk about her husband, I wouldn't doubt it.
Tell them what to do, D.
Smash that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, y'all. See you on the next one.
Ciao.